Well. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Good whatever else part of the day it is for you. If it's not the morning, it's early. At least it's early for me. Got my coffee. Hot. It's burning my mouth. All right. Let me rub my eyes here. Get this going. I'm excited about today because we're going to do a little something different today. And let me get first of all, look at my awesome, delicious hair. Let me get my chat window popped open here so I can see it. So I can see if you guys have anything to ask or say. There you people are. I see you. All right. So today, my friends, we are going to work on the Wizard of Oz book box tuck case today. Oh yeah, it's going to be great. It's going to be a little bit different than a card, but it's going to be great nonetheless. Let's get to it. Let me turn my lights off because these things are super bright and I can't see my work. Let's go over here to design. Boom. All right. Let me just turn these lights off. Okay, sweet. So this is the Beowulf tuck case, and I'm just going to be using the same die line because I really like it. Let me just delete all this stuff. Delete this debossing layer. Nope. Let's delete it. Delete. Bonk. Here's the gold foil layer. Let's delete the gold foil layer. Bonk. Delete the artwork. All right. There's our die line. I'm going to rename this die line. Going to be called... let's see, what deck are we making? Wizard of Oz, that's right. Wizard of Oz. Are there any plans for releasing a carrot case of some type of product to display all of your delicious book boxes? Yes and yes. I'm already working with Sherman over at Carrot Case Creations to make a carrot case that fits the book boxes. We're also working on making a super cool black walnut wooden slip case that fits all 12 book boxes for next year. So just be ready. We haven't made it yet, but we're working on them. So, all right. Let me see here. I'm going to open up Illustrator. So this is the die line for Beowulf. I really liked it. I'm going to modify it just a wee bit so it's different. And I'm opening up the Beowulf Illustrator file here. Let's see where I saved that. Where'd you go? Is that it? Is that it? Yes. I think that's it. Let's see. Come on, computer. Think. There we go. All right. You guys come over here. Come on. Oh, that's wrong. Illustrator is so touchy in the morning. Why are you being so mean? I keep grabbing the other window. Sorry, guys. Come over here. There we go. All right. So, this is the die line file for Beowulf. And I'm just going to change some of these elements that are a little bit different. Well, did you see like this little spike right here? That's that is for Beowulf only, and I don't want to use that same kind of shape for Wizard of Oz. So we're going to redo it here. It's going to be very similar, but not the same. Because I like the Napoleonic War. That would be cool. What was I thinking about last night? What was it? I can't remember what it was. I should write some things down sometimes. All right, I'm going to start right. Let's do right there with a bend. Give me a middle point. Let me delete that. Bonk. Let's find, where is it at? I'm just going to pull this down. Find the, let me see. Okay. That's good. That's good. I'm just going to reflect this over. No, I don't want to reflect it over just yet. Let's bring this point out a little further. To about right there. I'm trying to think if I want to do something crazy or something not so crazy. Let's just try something. Let's do crazy first, and then if we're not feeling crazy, we won't do crazy. All right. Let me just check to see that lines up. Join, delete, bonk. All right. So, The Wizard of Oz is whimsical, fun. So we're going to have some whimsical and fun shapes. I'm going to round these edges here first, like so. Now, what we can do, let's try. Now, what I could do is I could just round this off just like this and be done with it. So you'd have room for your thumb to stick your thumb in there. Let me try. I want to put let's just try kind of a circular ellipse in here, like this. And let's line that up. This is basically the same shape I just had. You silly boy. You silly, silly boy. So I'm going to delete this, and then I'm going to extend this out and this out. It's like that. All right. What I'm going to do is I'm going to copy these. I'm going to copy this one. So I'm going to grab these both. I'm going to take my shape tool or whatever it's called. I don't know. And then cut those shapes out. Join the paths. And now I can take these corners here and let's round those a little bit like that. I don't know. Let's see. The things I like about that, is this kind of semicircle is going to give me a cool shape to do designs around. That's what could be good about it. We could, let's see, we could move it up like that and make it off-centered, which might be interesting. Here's the original. Let me take this one, cut it, paste it on a new layer. Here was the original. Let's see what happens when I just pull this back a little bit and then round it off even more. That's not bad. That's kind of cool. Let me pull it back this way. I don't mind that, actually. I like that, actually. Let's come in here and then just round these two edges off ever so slightly. All right, I kind of like that. It's different than the last ones I've done. I don't like this one. I feel like it's too stark. I don't know, too abrupt. It's just what I'm feeling. All right, so I'm just going to stick with that for right now. It'll give you enough room to stick your thumb in there and open up that puppy. So let's come over here to the flap and figure out what we're going to do with the flap. Let me unlock it. Okay, cut, make a new layer, paste. All right, so we're going to go here, make a new layer. There, and then there. Of course, I was on the wrong layer because that's what I do. Let me find this color. There to there, there, I liked the length. It was big. I liked the length of the tuck flap for Beowulf. It was almost too big, but I liked it. So I'm going to join those two. Now I can take this, round it off a little bit. Maybe not so much. Well, maybe so. That way it mimics. Let's do it right about there. That feels good. I'm going to take these two corners and round them off. Well, I might as well just make it a semicircle. All right, I'm going to take this part and I'm going to duplicate it. I might as well just make it a semicircle. Let's just do that. All right, and let's bring this back. Let's bring this up. And let's bring our That's not what I want. It's not far enough. Let's go. Bring those there. Then bring this down. I'm just fiddling with it. Sorry, this is not exciting. There. Round this up a little bit. Okay. I'm going to take this and duplicate it over here. Well, I need to first find the line where it is going to meet is this yellow line right here. So I'm going to take and make me a little dotted line just so I can see it. Okay. Then I'm going to take the tongue flap and the dotted line, and then I'm going to duplicate it. Move it over here, and I'm going to line up the dotted line with the edge of the tuck case, like that, and then that will show me the this is how far the tongue flap will go in. Now, one thing I might want to do is take this shape and come in here like this me see if that's workable. Just so I can have the same arc. Let me just work it and see if it is something I want to do. All right, I'm going to take this. Make a new layer. I want to lock these layers because I don't want to draw on them. And then just come straight down like that. And then I'm going to take this, reflect it. I guess I don't have a center point. It's kind of annoying. Do I have a center point over here? No. So I'll take this, bring it down. I can't see it. Match that up with this, like that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this dotted line and get rid of it because it's distracting. I'm going to take these arcs, take my shape builder, I don't like that at all. Delete. Where's our first one? There. See, take this, delete. I don't know if I like that or not. Let's see here. We're going to keep it for right now. Okay. I'm going to save as. Let's go to Wizard of Oz, so I don't lose it. Wizard of Oz. We'll do Wizard of Oz tuck case V1zicles. All right. Sure, save it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete these layers. Let me just look at this. Okay. Let me delete these layers I'm not using. I tell you what, this is so annoying. Why do I like, for some reason I like the original one, the original Beowulf better. Let me look at this. But I don't want to necessarily use the same shape. I like the kind of pointiness of it. Let me see here. This is all part of the process, people. You're trying to figure it out. Let's bring this over to right there. Let's take this stuff in the middle, delete it. And let's take these, take our shape builder, cut that out. Cut that out. Oops, cut too much out. Shape builder. My sound effects. Oops. Let's take these corners, soften them up just a wee bit. I gotta join them first. Trust me, people, it's gonna get fun in just a little bit. Okay, round those corners off. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete this little arc right here. Then I'm just going to connect this to that and that to that. I'm going to take these corners. Let's see. Actually, let's do this. Oops. All right, let me take a drink of coffee. I like that better for some reason. Let me just round these corners off here. What happens when I delete this point? Yes, yes, that's what I wanted. I wanted that shape. That is the shape I wanted. All right, save. I'm going to export this as a PhotoHops file, not a DXF. PhotoHops. Except I want to bring everything together. Select all, cut, paste, delete. What time is it with me? It is 5:22. I've taken way too long on this stupid thing. How long does it normally take you to design a tuck? I'm guessing it depends on how much detail you want. Yes, that is correct. If I hadn't spent so much time fiddling with this tuck case die line, I would have probably been able to finish, or got pretty close to finish this tuck case. But we'll see. We're going to get pretty far. You're going to get to see a lot of stuff. So, but I had to get this through. And one thing about this morning show is I didn't want to like prep for it, other than just like turning my computer on and stuff like that, because I really wanted you guys to see every part of the process. Let's go CMYK 1200. There we go. Let's do that. Resolution, fine. I don't want flat images. Do I want flat images? Why can't I do? Okay, I have to do RGB. That sucks. Okay. Let's see if it doesn't crash my computer. Doesn't look like it did. Let's open up Photoshop and let's go open. Let's go back to this. Check. Okay. Must not be there yet. Open file location. Tuck case. Boom. All right. Let me grab this folder. Holy moly. Why is it a different size? I don't know. That's unnerving. So I'm just going to scale it down here to match my Beowulf, because I know the Beowulf is correct. I have to figure out why it's a different size. It's kind of annoying. Okay. Almost there. Wow. My computer is sleepy. I think that's good. Now let's line it up this way. Nudge it. That's close enough for government work. All right. Looking good. Just making sure everything's right. Okay. Delete the Beowulf one. Nope. Delete that one. Call this die line. Nope. All right, let's save it and let's get to work. Okay, so if you've seen my previous book boxes, you saw the Beowulf one, you saw the Robin Hood one. They look like little old books. I love them. They're one of my favorite tuck cases that I've made. So yeah, we're going to continue that. Let's go. I need to open up a new browser window, and we're going to go to Pinterest to get some inspiration. Let's see here. What the heck have I been searching? I do not know. We're going to go old book. Okay. So what I'm looking for, I have an idea. Let me show you some of the things. This is what I'm looking for. Something like this. Stories of my childhood. We're going to go to Photoshop and make a new file just to have. That's very small. New. I guess I'll just do this. Image, duplicate, yes, delete. Delete. Okay, go back to internets. Okay, copy. Paste. Make bigger. So the thing I like about this is that it looks old. That's what I want. I like this kind of gold thing. I could see this being the Oz logo in foil, and then me making some fun designs like this. That's what I'm going for. It's very whimsical. Let's see what else we got. This is nice. Look at that. That's sweet. Men at the Helm. That's a sweet cover, let me say. Let's paste that bad boy in there. Put it beside this green one that we like so much. Enter. Man, that's nice. Look at this one. Wow. Whatever the shape is, I feel like I've seen that before in somebody's playing card design. Somebody copied that. But it looks good. It looks really good. We may copy it. This is nice. I like that. It's a little hard to see what's going on. This. Oh, look at this. That's delicious. That's really delicious. Let me copy that. Boom. Let's paste that right here. Wow, you are small. Let's put you right there. Boom. All right, let's go back. This is cool too. Look at that. That's awesome. That's super, super cool. Let's go back. This is nice, kind of Art Nouveau. This is also delicious. Look at that. That's great. Woo. That's cool too. That's got a Book of Kells composition to it. This is nice. What a cool back design that would be. I mean, come on. Just slap it on a card and call it done. This is nice. I like that kind of structure. Oh, these are all really good. It's going to make it harder. Look at this. Come on, people. I'm getting distracted by how cool these are. That's a great design. All right. Let's do this. I've had enough of this. I want to start working. All right, so I'm going to come back here. The first thing I'm going to do is I want to find me a really good base texture. I've got some stuff that I already have, but I just want to see it. We're going to go search green fabric. I've got a really good green fabric that I used for Robin Hood, but I'd like to use a different one. I'm trying to find one that's maybe a little bit more emerald green. Oh, yeah, that looks good. Let's use that. This is cool. I like this linen. That's interesting. I like that. It's kind of like a linen, a little bit. None of this stuff is fabric. What is this? Does this have a pattern to it? It's got a little pattern to it, but not enough. This is, let's see here. Do you guys have any questions? You guys sure are quiet today. Ooh, I like that one. I like the texture. The green is quite not there, but we can change that if we need to. This is cool. I like that. Okay, interesting. I like this 45 degree angle. That's just different than the other books, which I like. I like different. Am I signed in? Yes. Download image. These are, just so you know, these are images that I'm purchasing at the moment because I don't steal from Google Images. You're doing a puzzle? You know what? I'm making a puzzle. We're making some puzzles from some of my playing card artwork. Okay, we're going to call this Green Fabric 1. And then I want to go back to that linen just for good measure because I like it. Did I get the big one of the other one? I don't know. Green Fabric Dose. Let's go back. Yeah, I got the big one. All right. So we're going to open up the fabric. Let's go. I also have a floral pattern that I like. Okay, I'm going to copy, close it, paste, and I'm just going to line this up. Like that. Let me flip it. Let me see here. Let me scale it up. Let's see how good our resolution keeps. That'll work. I don't like how it's seaming up, but that's okay. Let me just duplicate them and see what happens. I might get lucky with the spot healing brush here. Just got to think. Just taking that seam out. That's pretty good. Just paint the rest of this out. All right. Let's bring this over. Now, that's not that bad. I'm going to line up the seam with a corner so I can hide it from you people a little better. All right. Let me just clean this up a little bit. less noise for me to get distracted because I like shiny things and I get distracted easily. All right, so I've got my base. Let me clean this layer up. Let me name this back layer. Background, fabric, texture. What's up, Adrian? It's good to see you again. All right, so here's my die line. I'm going to bring the opacity of my die line down a bit. I'm going to open up the Wizard of Oz back design because I know that I'm going to be using the Oz lettering on the back, on the tuck case somehow. Yes, I do have plans to do some kind of Greek thing. I'm going to do an Iliad and Odyssey deck. A few people have done the Iliad and Odyssey deck, but I've been wanting to do it. And I'm competitive, and I want to do a better job, at least try at least, and do my own Iliad and Odyssey deck. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to merge visible here. I'm just going to copy this, and I'm going to close it, and I'm going to paste it, ship it, done. Okay, I'm going to bring this over here and make it smaller, but I know I'm going to use it. I just want to get it over here. Now I also pulled this over because I want to grab the green color that I've been using, this one, and I want to colorize this texture to be that green. So I'm going to make a new layer, fill. I'm going to put that on color. I'm going to bring the opacity down a little bit. All right, good. Okay, let's do this. So when I'm making these book boxes, the first thing I do is I stretch, and then I will paint in the corners, all the edges. I'll wear the edges all at once. The things I do know, what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to let's open up the Robin Hood tuck case. Where'd I put you? Let's see here. King's Wild Shorts, Robin Hood. Let's go list so I can see what I'm looking at here. I want the tuck case. That's LCD tuck. Let's see what this is. Nope. That's the wrong thing. I want the outside for print. Let's see if I can find the big one. Tuck case final inside. Let's see if this one's it. I saved so many files because I'm scared I'm going to lose my work because I've lost a lot of work before in the past. Okay, so here's the Robin Hood tuck case. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take the page edges. Is this okay? What I want to do is looks like I'm going to do some cleanup. I want to delete some stuff, get it out of the way. Want that gone, that. I could have done this beforehand, but then you guys wouldn't get to see the whole process. And then I would be robbing you. And I don't want to rob from you. I don't want to steal from you. All right. So what I want to do now is, let's see. How do I want to do this? What is the best way for me to do this? Let me see if I was organized and put this all in one folder. No. I'm just going to start deleting everything that I don't want because that's way easier for me. You know, and it's about making it easy. me see if I can just grab. Sure, I'll delete the background. We're getting close. That's what I want. Grab this, delete. That's what I was looking for. What is this here? Do not want that. Do not want that. Okay. Lots of extra stuff, people. I'm sorry. Oops. All right. I think that that's probably good. So I'm going to take all of this. I'm going to group it. I'm going to, I should save a blank template. Don't yell at me. I should. You're totally right. I should totally save a blank template. That would be the responsible thing to do. Let me just get this scaled right. I don't know why my scale is not the same. That's probably a problem I'm going to have to fix later. That's okay. I'm just going to line this up somewhat close on one of them. Right about there. Bring that over. Nudge it up a little bit here. What I want to do is I don't want to bring the edge of the paper all the way to the corner, because I want there to be a little sliver of the book. That way it looks like the thickness of a book. However, it's making me nervous a little bit that these are not the same. But that's okay. Let me see here. I'm gonna make this invisible for right now. The problem I'm having is, for some reason, I'll have to go back because the scale of these pages are different than this, and it's just me being disorganized. And probably what happened is I had to change the tuck case file or something and use something different. So I'm gonna do one more thing. Actually, I'm gonna go ahead and get started because I don't want you guys to, I don't want to look completely stupid in front of you. So what I'm going to do here is take I'll fiddle with the page stuff in a little bit. I want to actually start to draw for you guys. All right, so here's the die line, and I'm going to bring the die line opacity pretty far down. And I'm going to fill it a new layer with white. So I've got the die line in white, just so I don't get distracted by the color. And so what I'm going to do now is, if we go back to say the Robin Hood tuck case, let me know. What we're going to do now is, if you look at the Robin Hood tuck case, let me see here. No. Let's open it back up again. What we're going to do is, if you look at this towards the edges, you can see kind of this wear right here. That's what we're going to do. So the way I do that is, the first thing I want to do is I want to put a leather spine of some sort, very similar to the way this Robin Hood is, where you've got this leather kind of spine. We're going to do something similar to that. But with this one, we're going to be a little bit more whimsical, and we're going to have some shape to it, so it's not just straight. So We're going to go to Robin Hood because I love this leather texture that I used, if I can find it. And of course, I should have found these things beforehand. Let's see, Dropbox. Let's go textures. I think I put it in textures. Textures. Where's my stock? Stock textures. Is it? I didn't put it in. I may have put it in fabric. Yeah, it's right here. Let's grab that. Open. This is the leather that I've been using, and I really like it. All right, so I'm going to just copy all of this. I'm going to go back to our tuck case. I'm going to paste. Make sure that's behind our die line. All right, we're going to scale that down a little bit because I want for that texture to be nice and crisp. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn on symmetry. Let's go vertical symmetry, and it's a little too small. I'm going to turn on the symmetry, and I'm going to eyeball this right in the center. I feel like that's pretty good. Let me see. I can do a quick test. We're a little bit off. Okay. Okay. Let me just do one more test. Yep, we're good. All right, so what I'm going to do now is, this is my spine here of the tuck case. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to sketch a shape for this spine. And I'm looking for something that's kind of whimsical. So let's just, let's see here. Let's kind of start. What I should do is turn on both symmetry. Of course, I'm going to redo it now. Okay. I can already tell that's going to be too big. The reason why I don't like that is because it really cuts into the front of the book, where is going to be where I get to do a lot of that interesting kind of like scroll work that we saw on those other reference images. I'm not looking for anything too intricate. I'm just looking for something that's not, and I may go back to the straight. I just want to try it out to see what I get. It's not that bad. I want to round the corners off. I don't want it to be sharp corners like Beowulf, because I feel like Beowulf was the story. The story was right to have like sharp edges and stuff like that. And then let's see what it looks like to have. Maybe it's got like it's all right. Let's see here. I don't think, I may just leave the rest of that. Maybe it has just a simple leather piece right here, thinking that, okay, this is where the book is going to be opening a lot. So we're going to put a piece of leather there just to protect from wear. I'm not feeling that. I am feeling that spine, though. I like the spine. All right. We're just going to stick with that for right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a mask on my spine. And I'm going to paint out this shape. What is happening? Or aren't you painting out? You should be painting out at this moment. Oh, because I have my selection. All right, let's find that drawing. Bring down the opacity. I'm going to zoom in here. Go back to my layer mask. I'm just going to freehand this shape. Just like that. I'm not erasing, I'm using a layer mask. And that is a good lesson if you are a Photoshop trainee. Never erase, just use a layer mask because you may screw up when I go back. All right, so I got the shape. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go on top. I'm going to go on top of this, of all of this. I'm not 100% sold on the spine yet, and that's foreboding a little bit for it because usually if I'm not sold something, if I don't like something right off the bat, it usually ends up not working. All right, so I'm going to go, I have a special brush that I use for this. And I don't know why I use it. I've used it for like a decade, and it's really not even that. I can show you what it does. It really doesn't even do that much, but it does a great job. You know what? Holy moly. I have not saved once. Oh my goodness gracious. Could have blown it, people. Wizard of Oz. I need to save this tuck case. What the heck was I thinking? Control S. Control S. Wizard of Oz. Wizard of Oz. Tuck case. This would be standard tuck case. Standard tuck V1. Whew. It's got me, peeps. All right, so I'm going to make a new layer on overlay. And then what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go in here and I'm going to paint the edges of where the book edges would be. I feel like, now that I'm zoomed in, I feel like this green, I want this layer to be a little bit darker in value. So I'm going to pull this up a little bit, just a little bit. Not too much, though. Okay. So now what I'm doing is I'm just painting a little bit of a white layer on the edge of where the corners of the book are. I need to turn my symmetry off because the die line is not the same over on the other side. So I just need to turn this off right quick. It'll also make my computer run faster. So what I'm doing now is I'm just roughing it in. I'm basically redrawing kind of the die line, but I'm not drawing over the line itself. I'm drawing right inside the line because that's where the edge of the book would theoretically be. And I'm going to do the same thing right here for the tongue, or this little thumb hole, what do you want to call it. And what I'm doing now is I'm just roughing it in so I've got the placement. Okay, looking good. I'll go ahead and do right here and also around this tongue flap. So I've got that. Okay. Now, however, I can turn on my horizontal symmetry for right now, at least. So now what I'm going to do is, all right, I've got to do this. I'm sorry. I have to do this just because I keep thinking about it, and I want to see what it looks like. I want to delete, let's delete this mask. I want to bring this leather over. I want to see what it looks like if I make this leather. First of all, I'm going to take this scratch out. Oops. Oh, no. Okay. You take this scratch out. Okay. I want to see what it looks like if I make this leather green. So let's bring the opacity up. Oh, son of a biscuit. Son of a biscuit. What are we doing, people? That's really cool. I like that a lot. What were we thinking? What were you people thinking trying to get me to use that linen fabric? Gee whiz. You guys are trying to lead me astray. This is delicious. We're totally going to do this. We're not going to jack around with that fabric texture. Okay, what I need to do is, let me size this up. I'm going to size this up. I'm going to squeeze it a little bit, line it up with this. Oh, that looks so good. I'm going to have to lighten it up a little bit because that'll print real dark. And let's get this over here. I know I'm not going to use that front part because that'll be book pages. So let's pick a part of the leather that I like for that tongue. I like that. Let's send that to the back and bring that, clean that up a little bit. Oh, yeah. That's way better. Okay. All right, let's find. So if I go back here's the die line, and you can see that I quickly painted in the rough in of those page edges. And so let's see. I'm going to grab this. Let me just get, what I want to do is grab, I'm sorry this is taking a lot longer, and it's not as magical, I guess, as me drawing a playing card. But I felt like I wanted to do this morning, and so I'm going to delete some of this stuff. Okay. I'm going to duplicate this group, merge it, and then grab one of these just so I've got something to work with. Because this may not be, I probably won't end up using these pages, but I just want something to look at while I'm doing this. Let's see here. Just line this up kind of where I want it. That's pretty good. Let me clean up. I'm going to go ahead and keep that. This is really kind of placeholder, but it helps me kind of see everything the way it's kind of be at the end, just so I'm making the right decisions in terms of like value and, you know, art things. Okay. Good. And then we need one for the page edge, the book edge. Let's flip that. Transform. Flip horizontal. Get that somewhat lined up. Okay. Duplicate it. Edit. Transform. Flip vertical. Bring it on home. Let's bring the opacity up on these guys. Okay, let's erase. Turn symmetry off. Feather the edge a little bit. All right. Just clean this up, people. Sorry. Okay. Let me merge these book pages. I'm not going to merge them because I may end up using them. But however, I'm going to put these, I'm going to merge these and put them on the bottom like that. Okay. Okay. Control S, Control S. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to come in here, and I'm basically going to start painting the edge, the wear and tear of this book. And it's basically me just freehanding. For a while, I'm going to put on Symmetry just because it's going to be easier and I'm lazy. But basically, I'm just thinking about how a book would wear over time. And I'm going to paint, you know, the coloration of the leather would start to fade on the edges as it gets worn. And so that's what I'm going to paint. This first layer is just kind of the corner wear, or the edge wear, I guess you could say. You know, if you've never done this before, you know, something like this where you're kind of trying to recreate a texture of some sort, a good rule of thumb is always to use photo reference. And I'm not using photo reference only because I've done this before. I mean, especially when I was like in the video game industry, I did tons and tons of texture painting like this. So always use photo reference, especially if you're doing something that's kind of, quasi photorealistic like this is. Just always helps. Okay, the spine. Let's give a little more wear to the spine corners. Really lightly. Okay. Let's not forget this part. So I need to go in here and mask. I can't see. Where's my die line here? I need to put this on top so I can see what's going on. There we go. I need to mask this. Is it this one? Yes. Mask that out. Okay. Just a little bit. That's good for now. Let's go back to our Yes, I know. I know the spine is usually worn with the fingers. I will bring in like the more asymmetrical, unique wearage in a little bit. This is just me taking advantage of the Symmetry tool and putting just a foundation down. And notice how I'm painting off the edge because, there's going to be a print bleed, and so I need to be aware of that. All right, that's looking good. Let's get some in right here. Add some here. Because I want the edges to almost be white, because over years and years and years, they would get bleached, and more worn. So now I'm going to go back and do a second pass to really pump up the edge corner, and this is going to be a tighter. What happens when I put that on overlay? Green, especially, of course, green is one of the hardest colors to paint in CMYK, only because you can't, because of the printing process, there's probably some scientific explanation for it, but because of the printing process with CMYK, it's really hard to get a really saturated green color. And on top of that, of the green colors, emerald is the hardest of the green colors to print and to make it look like you want. And it's not so much that you can't print it and make it look emerald green. The problem is when you're painting it in Photoshop, you have a lot less range of colors because so many of the green colors are not CMYK safe. And that just means that, if you've ever like saved an image in RGB and tried to print it and it looks weird or it's crazy, is because RGB is not the same as printing because they have to use 4 colors. And with the green, for some reason, you don't have as much range with green. Okay, what I'm going to do now is, let me just do this one side over here. All right. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn off the die line because I've got it basically in there. And then you can kind of start to see it without the die line. But what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to put this Oz thing on top because I know I'm going to use that Oz shape, but I just want to be aware of it as I'm starting to paint. Maybe I go ahead and paint it. Okay, so you have to think it like this. This right side, the right side over here is going to be the front of the tuck case. And then the tuck case, wraps around and the tongue will then tuck in over here. So this side with the curved side is the front of the book. And so I may want to put it small. I may want to put it like this. There's a part of me that wanted to kind of split the difference. Trying to think, let's see what this looks like. I also want to make sure, I also want to do things that are different. I want these book boxes to feel the same, and so that you can put your Robin Hood tuck case up against your Wizard of Oz tuck case and up against your Beowulf tuck case, and they all kind of feel the same, like they're like from the same universe. But at the same time, I want them to be different, just to be visually pleasing. And there's something about this that is delicious. I'm just trying to think in my mind's eye what this would look like. Oh, that's pretty sweet. I really like this for some reason. Okay. This is pretty nice. I like this for some reason. It says Oz really big. And I think that when you look at it from one side, it'll just be like a portion. Like if you look at the front of the tuck case, it'll just be this design. I really like that. We're going to go with that for right now because I think that that's, like I said before in my other ones, usually my first inclination is usually what I end up going with because it's usually the best one. At least I think so. Control S. All right. So what I'm going to do now is what I'm thinking about doing is I want to have some type of border. So I'm going to go ahead and make that layer invisible. I want to have some kind of border. So what I'm going to do is, oh, what happened? Oh, I think my Photoshop crashed. Yep. Good thing I saved, right? Let's see here. Can I get it back? Nope. It's done. Let's close her up. What? So annoying. Let's open it back up. Come on. That's why you save. Let me play some music for you. That's why you save. You want to make sure you save, because Photoshop is going to crash on you. Oh yeah, it's going to crash on you. You want to save, because it's going to crash. All right, enough of that crap. Let's open it back up. And we're back. Really annoying, but I'm not going to be mad about it, because if you're not saving your work, it's your fault, honestly. Something is definitely quirky. All right, so I'm going to make a new layer on multiply. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to rough in let's put on multiply. I'm just going to rough in this border. I'm just going to continue it over the spine, because I want to be able to have that sweet Oz. All right, there we go. I'm liking that. Let's see, what I want to do. I'll go ahead and do a border on the tongue. I always neglect the tongue for some reason. I did this on Robin Hood and Beowulf, where I would paint for hours, well, not hours, but I would work on the front of the box, and then I wouldn't paint the tuck. Then I have to go back and try to match it to the tongue. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back to my weather layer. Let me find my brush. I'm already on the brush. And so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start painting the wearing layer on the edge of this border. So I'm gonna rough in the first, just the block in the shape here. Just like that. See, I almost forgot about it. Forgot about the tongue. The name of my super funky theme song, I don't know. It's I think it's called something. It's just some stock music I found on Epidemic Sound. That's the website that I use. I think it's called not called Ecstasy of Gold. That's an Anicio Morchione song. Something of gold. I can't remember, but I can find it. So now I'm going to go back and embellish this edge up a little bit. Make it not straight, because it wouldn't be straight. There we go. And I'm trying to stay on the outside of it, because that's where it would be higher. Because in my head, inside this border, all this area is going to be debossed and going down. And then everything, and then the Oz shape, it's going to be like raised on the same level as this. All right, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to feather this edge a little bit, because I don't want it to be super hard. Feather. Okay, did I do it? Maybe. What is happening? Okay, Control freaking S. Oh no. What is going on with my computer, peeps? Something is definitely up. Did it lock on me? Oh my goodness gracious. Something happened. Did I lose a window? Something's wrong. I think it crashed on me again. And I don't think I saved. Wow. Let me see if I can save it. But it doesn't look like I'm going to be able to. I am really sorry about this, people. My Photoshop is being super crank this morning. I'm going to have to do it. You made me do it. You made me do it. Let me just see here. Okay. What I should do is close this other. Let me see if I can save it. I don't want to quit it yet. Okay, we did it. We saved it. I think we saved it. Yes, we saved it. I didn't have to force quit it. Oh, man. Control freaking S. Man, I don't know what happened. I tried to feather. I mean, it doesn't help that my image size, my file size is 3.5 gigs. That doesn't help. All right. But that's okay. I want to do feathered edge, 3 pixels. And then we're going to go like this. Line that up like that. Ugh. My computer. We're going to have a reckoning after this live. My computer. Okay, I'm going to hide my selection. Then I'm going to go make a new layer, put it on multiply. Now what I'm going to do is do the same thing, but the opposite, to where I lightly paint this edge darker. But what I want to do is I want to use a regular brush that's feathered. Bring back the opacity and just lightly hit it like that. You don't know how wonderful that makes me feel that you fell asleep watching Bob Ross, because, my friend, I did the same thing so many times. And we're going to put a little happy tree here. We're going to put a little happy tree here and, just use the edge of your brush and a little scrumble. And, you never know what's going to happen with the happy trees. You just put them in here. And, the little trees got a life of their own, They got a life of their own. You put them over here with their friends, their other friends, the trees. They're together in the wild, in the sunrise. Put a little snow on them. Put a little snow on them. Just take a little titanium white here and put a little snow on top. Get a little cobalt blue. And then put them in there as well. Going to be really nice. Going to be really nice on these trees. This is my little buddy here, my little pet squirrel that's in my pocket. He's my friend. All right, so what I'm doing now is I'm just going back to the layers that are like my little wear layers, and I'm going to erase some of this edge right here, because that it wouldn't be right there, because that area would be debossed. So I'm just going to kind of erase it a little bit. Come back. There we go. There. Up here. And then let's do that as well. Oops. Just gonna come in here right. Bro, I love Bob Ross. Let me blur those edges a little bit. Fine. Don't do it. You've been a jerk all morning, computer. Why would you stop now? Huh? I don't know. Yes, I know. Doesn't mean I don't want you to do it. He did have a son. I remember that. Okay. See? I forgot about this side as well. Okay. Let's come in here. I'm going to go ahead and lasso this just because it's easier. Feather at 3 pixels, not 32 pixels. Hide, Control H. Use my brush tool again. Gonna paint a little. It's too much. What is wrong with me? There we go. That's what we want. All right. All right, let's open up or make visible our Oz logo. Let's scale it to kind of fit in this border. Okay, good. I'm also trying to, I don't use a PC. I don't use a Mac. I am a PC user. And whether or not I had issues, you probably don't have issues on Mac, but I'm not going to use Mac just from the principle of it. I'm going to be one of those stuck-up Mac haters. I used to be a Mac user, a power Mac user, but I was tired of spending 4 times as much just for the brand when I could get the same hardware myself and just make my own computer. That's why I save a lot, because I like saving money. So I Control S to save money. In the end, really. I'm just going to stretch it out just a little bit more. I want to match it up, but I want to keep this dot right here in the center. Let's see here. All right, so what I'm going to do now is, what I want you to picture is, what's going to happen is everything, the part that says Oz is going to be like raised up, and then the negative space around the Oz is going to be debossed into the book. And then what I'm going to do in my head is, if we, let me see, do I have Pinterest still open? Yes. What I'm going to do is, the areas that are raised, I'm going to do something like this, where you've got really cool scroll work, really tight scroll work, in gold foil on the raised portions. So, will all of my card decks now look like a book? Only the ones that are based on literature. This is kind of a whole series that I'm doing based on classic literature. So all of the Tut cases, not the Federal 52s for next year's subscription, but everything that is a book based on a book will look like a book case. So let me go back to my brush that I was using. Let me find it. There it is, right there. Bonk. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to lightly paint in this wear layer on the edge. First of all, I need to turn off my symmetry. And it'll make my computer's life a lot easier. Because what are we at? What is our image at? We're at 16 inches by 11 inches at 800 dpi. So we're huge. And what I'm going to do is just to make it go faster, I'm going to crop this image just to make my computer run faster. All right, so I'm going to lightly paint in the edge. So this would be kind of like the wear edge on the embossed layer of the design. And what I'll probably end up doing is the standard edition will be the Tut case or the book without any of the gold the gold accoutrements and like scrollwork detail on the logo. So the standard edition won't have the gold foil on the little Oz. It'll be the same basic design, but it won't have all the gold foil. And then the limited edition will have all the tight detail work in gold foil on the Oz logo. That's what my initial idea is in my brain. And I just came up with that right now. But in my head, it sounds good. Because I always have to think about this stuff. You know, I collect playing cards. I collect playing cards myself. And I got to think about, I try to approach this as a playing card collector. And what would I like as a playing card collector? And so, you know, I feel like that helps make the products better. You know, if I think like a collector, then it makes you guys spend more money. All right, let's just keep working this. Looking good. I'm gonna have to change the design a little bit to go around this thumb hole, but that is okay. We can do it. Not scared. I ain't scared. So we'll come up like this. And then we'll kind of terminate that design right there. Do the same thing here. Big arc. Oh, can I make it? Yep, there we go. I'm freehanding all this because I don't want it to be perfect. I want it to look like it's old. I want it to look like it's handmade. I don't want it to look like it's made by a machine. Okay, come on. Follow me, line. Follow me. I appreciate that, Sebastian. I appreciate that. I'm going to take out this little circle at the top. It's going to be too small. I may put it back. We'll see. This is the last one. Big arc. Come on. Come on. Bring it. Don't screw up. Okay. There we go. Another big arc. Don't screw up. Okay. There we go. I wasn't finished. I thought I was finished. Oh, a huge arc. Let me turn my page here so I can get this arc because I'm left-handed here. Come on. Come on. Come on. Oh, I messed up. It's a little bit wobbly. All right. Good. Let's see if we got it all. All right, let's turn off the top. Yes. Did I get everything? I did. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go back and paint the wear layer on this embossed area. And it's just a lot of the same repetitive stuff, but it's part of it, and you're going to go with me. I guess you can leave if you want, but that's what I'm doing. So basically, I'm embellishing the wear layer on this embossed. And so you got to think about, and so what'll end up happening is I'll make a deboss plate, and then you know, deboss all this negative space, and then this area here that you're watching will be embossed and it'll be raised. And you can see, like right there, I'm just going to start thinking about little scratches and stuff. You know, how like these embossed areas would catch on stuff and get worn differently. And one thing I like to do is, like right here, you've got this imperfection in this texture. I like to just go with that and paint around it like it's part of it. And so I'll create scratches around the actual photo reference. You know, I can go back in here and erase this. Around that little hole, because it looks cool and it gives it more realism. Yes, it does take a top and bottom plate to emboss. You got the strike plate, which is usually copper. Well, mine are copper because it gives a cleaner edge. Most of the time, they'll CNC them out of like this plastic. But that's for the amateurs because it doesn't give a sharp emboss. So you'll have the strike plate that's copper, and then you'll have the reverse plate that could also be copper, but most of the time, the reverse plate is that plastic material because you don't want the sharp edges of the copper coming together and cutting your paper. Holy moly, Control S, for the love of everything good and holy, what the heck am I doing? Yeah, I mean, it's more of just an act. I'm really not a Mac hater. You know, I talk a lot of game. I'm not a Mac hater. I just like to get stuff done and save money doing it. So, does the copper wear out? Yes, it does wear out. I would say that, on a copper plate, but here's the thing, like the amount of tuck cases that you would have to print to get to a point to where the copper plate is wearing out. We're talking hundreds of thousands, I think. Nowhere near the amount of that I print. And that's also something else I keep forgetting. Clove Street Press, who prints a lot of my tuck cases, he has just this mountain of copper embossing plates from all the decks that we've been doing. And I've been meaning to get him to ship them to me because I want to sell them or like auction them off because I think they're cool. Or maybe not auction them off and just keep them for myself and be selfish. Control S. Yep, Control S. I got to make a shirt. We're going to make a shirt, people. Oh, yeah, you can totally frame copper plates. Done it. Seen it done. Got a little rambunctious right there. I need to erase that. This is going to be a sweet tuck case. I already know it. With this really cool horizontal design. It's going to be really good. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. It's going to be really sweet. What is today? Wednesday? Got to shoot my Wednesday weekly update video today. Oh, also, I brought down the new, we were talking about yesterday, for people who were here yesterday, I brought down the 3 new Kingswald thread shirts to show you people, to entice you to purchase them, but they're not available, but they soon will be. It turned out really cool. Thanks. I appreciate that. It's been good. You know, since I've been doing this, it's amazing how I'm just responding to your comment, 2355 Club or C-Dub. It's amazing how over the years that just different things, and I think it's with any industry, people can find, meaning and inspiration and fulfillment in so many different things. And it's been awesome to see how just like playing cards can do that for people. Playing cards are my life, I can't see myself doing anything else. I don't think I could do anything else at this point. Okay. I don't want to rush this. I feel like I'm getting self-conscious that this is just taking too long. And I got to remember myself that this is part of this process of this whole live YouTube, is that you guys are along for the ride. And I don't want to rush it just because. I'm not sure what a Z little toy, I don't know what that is. I'm sorry. All right, let me just hit this a little bit over here. Break up that edge a little bit. Paint where the leather folds a little bit. Oops. I did the wrong part. Just adding more wear to this embossed layer because it would obviously be higher up and it would receive more wear and tear. I'll probably end up going back and knocking back that white layer. It's just a little bit much at the moment. I'll go back and let's do that now. Let me see here. Let's go to that layer. Let's just bring it back about right there. Joel, your question was, how often do I do these live streams? Well, this is the third in this new series. But I'm going to be trying to do this every morning during the week, 5 days a week, in the morning at 5 o'clock a.m. Eastern Time. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just keep working it. I'm going to hit Control-S for the love of everything good and holy. I'm going to hit Control-S. I'm going to make a new layer on Multiply, and then I'm going to do the opposite where I'm going to paint a shadow around the edge. This is going to be embossed, and so I'm going to embellish the embossing by painting my own embossing, because that's the magic of illustration. See, if I had like a Bob Ross show, that would be the show title, The Magic of Illustration, or something like that. I don't know. So I'm just painting like a drop shadow or a bevel and emboss here. This, I know I said it already, this is going to be a sweet tuck case. And if you don't like these book box tuck cases, I am sorry. You probably shouldn't subscribe to my Kingswell Shorts, because I'm going to be making a lot of them. Do I have to have a gap between the embossed plates to account for the paper? Yes, you do. But it's the fact that you smash the paper in between the plates that does the embossing for you. But yes, you do have to have a space. But it's the finding the balance between that space and also putting pressure on the paper that gives it the embossing. So it's finding that balance. I'm sorry about that. Black Forest, I'm sorry. I don't know if you're being sarcastic or not, but sorry. I'm guessing by the laugh out loud that you are being sarcastic. I have a feeling what we'll do today is, get the majority of this standard tuck case knocked out. There may be some more work to be done on it tomorrow. And then tomorrow we can do all of the scroll work on the design. We can do the scroll work on the design tomorrow. C-Dub asks, Jackson, where did the book box idea come from? T11 did the Derek Brown deck that looked like a book, but not a book box. Let me tell you this. I did my book boxes before Theory 11 did it, but I was not the first one to do the tuck case that looks like a book box idea. I remember the first one that I saw was years ago. We're talking, this may be 2014, 15. I want to say it was called, I think it was called like the Black Book deck or something like that. I can't remember who did that, but it was called the Black Book deck, and it looked like a book. But even that person wasn't the first person that did the concept. I've seen the concept before, just in different packaging. The Theory 11 book box was nice, really good foiling. But as always, they phone it in on everything else but the tuck case, usually. But I digress. No, it was not me who did the book box first. The first actual deck of cards that I saw was that Black Book, but I know that it's been done before in different forms and fashions with packaging. I was really bummed when Theory 11 got the Star Wars license, because when I was an illustrator, Star Wars paid my mortgage for like 5 years. I did like 300 or 400 Star Wars illustrations for Hasbro. And I really wanted to do a Star Wars deck, and I wanted to do it cool. And I was really bummed when they got the license, because their Star Wars deck has been one of my least favorite decks that they've produced. But whatever, I'm not going to talk smack on anybody, so I'm just going to shut my mouth. There's no use for me talking smack on somebody. So I'm just keep running and gunning on this layer, this kind of emboss layer. Yes, I'll be releasing a gilded version of this. Since we're talking about it, well, let me just finish this little shadow layer, and then I'll just show you something. Control S. Well, I'm glad that your insomnia can be eased slightly with sitting here watching me push and pull colored pixels. It does have an autosave feature. I don't like. It's a smart thing to do, but what I have found with the autosave feature is, I may be right in the middle of something, like I'm right now, and then it autosaves, and it totally screws up what I'm doing, and I don't like that. So I just have to be responsible. I have to design responsibly and make sure that I save. All right, so it's looking good. Let me just see here. Let's bring down the opacity a little bit. And then let's find there's our highlight layer. I'm going to bring down that opacity a little bit. Okay, good. Yep, eyes on the prize is Lord of the Rings. That is for sure. Okay, I'm going to Control S. And just while I'm thinking about it, let me flip this over. Let me get my, where is it at? I get it in my Gilding book. Where did you go? There you are. Stay right there. Don't go anywhere. Stay right there. I had to pour me another cup of coffee before it went cold like it did yesterday. Okay, so let's see here. This is my Gilding foil sample book. Let me turn this other light on. So we've got some winners for sure. This foil color right here. Let me get my thumb on it. There's a few greens. Let me get it focused in here. Like that. I'm just trying to get it where the light hits it just right. So you can see those. It's hard to tell on camera, but I do have some really good emerald greens. This 171 is these 171 and 175. These two right here are really nice. Let me see if I can get the highlight of the light to hit it. Come on, Robinson. There we go. You can kind of see them right there. So, we have the greens. So don't worry. We also have this. I don't know if we're going to do this or not. I don't think we'll do this just because it's a little bit crazy. But we have this. We won't do this. Don't expect this. It's got this fractal green right there. It's got fractal green and polka dots in it. Yes, I know it could be cool for the Emerald City. Maybe, I don't know. And there's also kind of like this digital squares. Like these squares or whatever. But this is the fractal one right here. I don't know. My gilding company is based out of Chicago. All right. Let's turn these lights off. Wait. Before I get back to work, let me show you these shirts. People, these new shirts, these new Kingswell thread shirts are awesome. So, are you ready for this? Here is the January shirt. It's my vintage. I had some flannel sheets that were like this when I was a kid. It's a cowboy western design with, cowboy shooting all kinds of different guns, little cowboy guns. It's got I got a Colt Peacemaker, a Sharps rifle. I have a Navy Colt, some horseshoes, but you can also see in between there is little spade, club, diamond, and heart pips. So that's January's shirt. And they're already working on the deck. Here is February's. This one is ridiculous, but it's awesome. This is the VHS 1982 shirt. Look at that monstrosity. Look how awesome that is. These are all hand painted tuck cases. No photos. All hand painted, not tuck cases, but VHS cassette tape. And if you look at them, they all say like Kingswell Project. Just super awesomeness all over the place. So that's February's shirt. But you can see the yellow VHS 1982 cassette tape that matches the tuck case. And then, now listen, people, this is probably my favorite one of these three. But this is probably my favorite. I also had some sheets like this when I was a kid. I love nostalgia. This is probably my favorite of the three. This is my dinosaur shirt. Look, my dinosaur shirt in my engraving style. Oh, look at that. Isn't that amazing? There we go. That's it. It is horrible. It is horrible and amazing at the same time. That's where the magic comes from. Okay. But come on, let's be honest. Who can't wait for the deck that goes with that dinosaur shirt? All right, what's happening here? Okay. I missed a few spots that I need to do here. You know what? Why not be crazy? I just missed this little spot in here. All right, let me look here. Did I skip anything else? Okay. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go back to this highlight layer right here, this highlight wearing layer. That's not it. That's not it. Where is it? Is this it? Let's see. 49. That's the one we want. I'm going to go in here and just erase. I'm going to erase right here on the edges. Actually, just right in here. Oops. Let me go back. I'm going to erase right here just to match up the artwork with the wear layer. Okay, good. Good. Control S. Control S. Okay. I'm probably going to bring it down to an opacity a little bit here. You know what? Let's just turn it off for right now. For some reason, well, that's all right. We'll just leave it right there. Okay. Now, I always try to just keep layering things on. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back. And what I'm going to do first is I'm going to take this. Let's find the highlight layer. I'm going to magic wand inside it, or outside of it, rather. I'm going to hide that. Then I'm going to make a new layer, put it on multiply, and I'm going to take a large textured brush. Let's find a nice simple one. Yes, you probably can't see it, but it's there. And I'm just going to paint in the background just to darken up the background a little bit. And yes, I know I'm painting on the edge, but I'll go back and clean that up. But what I want to do is paint in the background just to darken it up to further push that embossing, the embossing look of the Oz area out. Just a little bit more. Now I'm going to go back. I'm going to go here, delete, 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 delete. Get my eraser. Erase that. Good. Now I can bring it back. Let me just bring it back in opacity just to check it. Let me turn it on and off just so I can see the effect that it has. It is working. It's doing what I want. Okay. I need to do this side over there. I don't know what I'm going to do over here. Like I said before, I always neglect the tongue flap. That's just what happens. Let me just make sure I'm on the same layer. All right. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back, make a new layer, put it, we'll just go screen because overlay does not work on green like you want it to. I'll end up putting some kind of design on the tongue flap, but at the current moment, I'm lazy and I don't want to. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go in and put let me see, screen, we want white. I'm going to put one more layer of wear right on the edge. And what this is going to do is it's going to sharpen it up a little bit. Let me bring down the opacity. Let me see here. What is this color? Let's see if that will work. Yeah, we'll do that. I don't like putting the white on there because, and this is one of those issues that you have when you're painting with green, is it's green and red, and I don't know if it's a coincidence or not. Probably is not. There's probably some scientific explanation for it, but green and red are complementary colors, and also green and red are in my opinion, the hardest colors to paint on a computer. And also printing in CMYK, just because the way that it reacts, but you just don't have as much range with it. Green is probably the second hardest, and red is by far the hardest color to paint, to get it to look rich. Because if you just go and put white on green or red, I mean, this is true with a lot of different colors, but especially green and red. No, now I'm going to just pause here. See this little cut in the texture? I'm going to go with that, and I'm going to create a scratch right here that goes across as if something scratched it and created that notch. And then that means that I would need to have another scratch that continues right here just to sell that idea that there was a scratch right there. But anyways, going back to what I was saying. And you'll see me do that with other stuff, like right up here in this little notch. But this layer that I'm doing now, this is kind of like a detail. This is like kind of like a detail. We're getting to the details now and making it look realistic in a way. But green and red are the hardest colors to paint, because when you start putting white on top of green and red, it has a tendency to look real chalky. And I don't want it to look chalky. And you'll see me doing these. This is just me kind of like ad-libbing and just putting some wear and scratches here and there. What does this look like? How has this book been aged? Just basically telling a story with the texture, with like, details like blood stains. Yes, that's what we're talking about. It's like these two scratches right here. I'm going to play those up and add those into my texture. So I'm going to just kind of play them up. And see like this big scratch right through here? We're going to do the same thing with that. We're just going to play that up. I also have a very special treat at the end of this for all you fine people that stick around. A very good treat. Do I have an actual book collection? Yes, I do have a book collection, but I don't have necessarily very many. Excuse me. Rare and old books. I've got a few, but nothing terribly valuable. I've got an old Robin Hood book that has a bunch of really great N.C. Wyeth illustrations. N.C. Wyeth is one of my favorite illustrator kind of inspirations. You know, N.C. Wyeth 1, Norman Rockwell 2, those types of people. Sam Brew, a deck sneak peek? Maybe multiple deck sneak peeks for your viewing pleasure. Is there anything to expect about shipping when it comes to European customers? Well, it's funny and also sad that you asked that, because I don't know where at in Europe you are, but if you are in the UK, the new Brexit laws have passed just yesterday or past couple of days. Some of the new shipping laws because of the Brexit stuff, and any package, I think it's under $150 of value, I now have to pay VAT tax on, not you. I have to pay the VAT tax on. So what that's doing is now just making shipping to the UK even more expensive, which sucks. But we ship worldwide. We're a small business. We don't have huge conglomerate discounts on shipping. We do our own shipping in-house because we feel like we can do the quality better than anybody else can. So we do ship worldwide, but we're pretty transparent about shipping costs. It's expensive to ship worldwide. That's really all there is to it. We do have a delayed shipping program that you can enroll for if you are international. We have been offering the delayed shipping to domestic people, but that's something we are going to be we'll be discontinuing the delayed shipping for domestic people, because I think we've remedied that with the free shipping over $50 that we offered, that we're going to go back to in January when the free shipping for all U.S. orders is over. So if you are international, I would say you can enroll in delayed shipping. And what delayed shipping is basically you get enrolled, we make you a little bin in our warehouse, and then we save. You can order and use your delayed shipping discount code to not have shipping charged. And then at the end of every quarter or so, we will package all of your items that you've ordered over the past quarter, and then we will send you a PayPal invoice for that shipping price of all those decks put together. But that's how that works. Shipping is just no fun. No fun at all for anybody unless you're Amazon. And then you can strong arm everybody and do exactly what you want. So if I did a deck based on musicians, well, that's a good question. It would have to be classical musicians, just because I don't want to have to deal with any kind of modern music licensing, which would be a huge pain. I don't know. I would say all the classic people that everybody's used to, Mozart, Bach, Wagner, Strauss, Tchaikovsky. I like Vivaldi. I like, what's his name? Paganini? No, Paganini, the guy at the violin. I can't remember what his name is. I like him as well. Thank you, C-Dub. That's why we like to do our shipping and fulfillment in-house, because we have control over the quality. Chopin. I like Chopin. Yes. And that line from Tombstone comes to my head. And shipping is only going to get, the shipping prices aren't going to get any better. Licensing aside, I don't know. I don't know who I would pick. That's a super broad question. It really depends on the mood I'm in. You know, I grew up listening to Metallica, heavy metal, all those kinds of bands. Then, as I got older and I started to lose my hearing, I started listening to much easier stuff. I listen to a lot of electronic stuff now, a lot of cinematic game soundtracks. I've been listening to Lorne lately. Lorn. I've been listening to Lorne lately. Really like his stuff. It's good to work to. I don't necessarily have favorites. It's basically what mood I'm in. POD deck. I love POD. Snuff the punk, snuff the punk, snuff the punk. I like POD back in the day. It's really just who I'm in the mood for at the time, and I definitely go through seasons where I'm listening to different types of music, but my tastes have definitely mellowed as I've gotten older, because I get plenty of noise and loudness from my daughters, so I don't need to add it by listening to more anxious, loud music. Control S. Control S. The Toadies. Oh, I remember the Toadies. What did they sing? I come from the bottle. I come from something, something. I can't remember. How would you go about getting a deck commissioned by me? Well, it's pretty simple, really. Just email support@kingswildproject.com and give us the lowdown on what you're thinking. And Amy or Desi will communicate with me the details, and Nick as well. But when it comes to commission deck, I'm going to be straight up with you. I like drawing my own stuff, and I'm very busy. I'm very busy drawing my own things. And I do commission decks. do commission decks. But it's really got to be something it's got to be a subject matter or a product that, I'm interested in. Like if you own a whiskey company or a beer company or something like that, or a tobacco company, the answer is probably going to be yes, because I like that kind of stuff, But if you want me to, design a deck for your wedding and print 50 decks, it's probably just not going to work. It's probably just not going to work, and I'm not going to sit here and BS you and sell you some goods that aren't going to happen. It's just got to be something that I'm interested in and, inspired by. So, but the way you do it is you email support@kingswildproject.com. That's how it happens. Desi is top notch. Desi and Amy are awesome. Control S. Gonna control S all day long till the sun goes down. Let's see here. Looking good. Really feeling good about this tuck case. You kind of get in a zone and you just start doing it. I'm really liking this tuck case. It's going to be great. You all should buy thousands of them. Guarding it from my kids. Yes, yes. You know, speaking of the 13th deck, and the 13th deck, for anybody that does not know what the 13th deck is, if you are a subscriber to the limited edition tier of the Kingswild Shorts, there is a certificate that has monthly sticker slots. And for every LTD, and only the LTD decks get it, every month you get a sticker that has the month on it for every deck that we produce for the Kingswild Shorts. And then you can put those stickers on the certificate, and at the end of the year, if you have a completed certificate with all the stickers filled, you will receive a 13th deck for free. A limited edition 13th deck for free. Now, I know what you're probably saying. What do we need to do with our filled certificate? Don't do anything with it yet. We will send out a mass email to all the subscribers. We send out a mass email to all the subscribers to give them instructions of what to do with it, and it usually is just emailing us a picture of it. Don't email us now because we won't do anything with it now because we don't even have a 13th deck yet. Because of the wonderful world of COVID, the 13th deck was something that kind of went on the wayside of me designing, and I really hadn't had an idea for what I was going to do until last night. And I was thinking about what I could do that would be interesting and very cool. Because one thing I like about the 13th decks is I feel like it's an opportunity for me to do something really different. Like last year I did the Edge of the Gizzard deck, dedicated to my grandfather. I can stretch, sorry. Let me just check here. Is that it? Have I done all the stuff? No. I'm missing one little piece. The 13th deck. So I've been on a sword kick for a while. And it started, I've loved swords for a long time, but I've been on this sword kick, and I've been doing a lot of research, and it's mainly because of my Lord of the Rings research. And I started, really researching medieval swords and the development of swords over time, doing a bunch of research. And my idea for the 13th deck, in my head, it's called Blade or Sword or something like that. But I like Blade. And it's going to be, in my head, the idea is one of two things. There are these old, here, I'll show you right quick. Where's the internet? Come here, internet. Come here, boy. I think I saved some images. Let me see if I have some images saved. My Pinterest page, here it is. The Blade. So there are these old, textbooks, fighting manuals, textbooks that were all done like engraving style, like this. That taught people how to fight with swords and such. My idea is doing something in this style, this very rudimentary, archaic style, woodcut engraving style, and have the court cards be these types of, fighting illustrations. That's just my idea, and it's called Blade, and it's based on old medieval sword fighting textbooks. That's my idea. Whether or not that make that the 13th deck, I don't know. I may make it another deck. We'll see. That's just an idea I had last night. Control S. Now I'm going to go back over here to this border and paint the same type of little line on it, just so everything is copacetic and matches up and feels like the same thing. Don't forget the tongue. Oh, Eric already has one. That one's good. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add some scratches to this outside area. And I'm also going to rough up the corners a little more. But I want to do that with we're good. We got the right one. The release date for the Oz deck, and that reminds me, somebody asked something about the table players. The release date for the Oz deck is my hope, if I can get it finished, and these morning things are really helping me get a lot of work done. My hope is to finish this deck as soon as possible so that I can get it turned in. And the hope is that this is March's subscription deck. Because January is Sherlock Holmes. February is going to be the foiled Federal 52. And then I would like the Wizard of Oz to be the March deck so that I can do a Federal 52 release and then a story deck, a Federal 52 release, a story deck. That's the idea. So many things are weird right now still, and I hate blaming COVID, but that's what's going on. Everything going on right now, everything is delayed, especially manufacturing, supply chain lines and supply lines, all that kind of stuff. So really, anything is up in the air. I've got the Federal 52 decks finished and in production, so if I have to, I can release 2 Federal 52 decks back to back, but that's not optimal. That's not what I want to do. But if I have to, I can do that to maintain releasing a deck every month. But the idea is for this deck to be the March subscription deck. And then it'll be followed up by the foiled gold certificate. Now this area right here is going to have lots of wear because it's a externally facing corner, so it's going to get a lot of wear, and it's also where people's hands are. But I'm just going to do a little bit for right now because it's a lot of the same, and I'll go back and do more of it in a little bit. Speaking of table players, that's correct. I appreciate that you like that. I like Volume 6 as well. I had originally wanted to do 12 Table Players deck. And for anybody that doesn't know, Table Players is another subscription service that I have that's the decks of cards inspired by like 1950s, 1960s cigarette packaging. Let me see. Where's this at? It's on the top. I want to put it right there. There we go. It's inspired by 1950s cigarette packaging. I did 6 this year, and it's an every other month subscription. People really liked it. I wanted to do more. They're relatively easy to design compared to the shorts. And so I wanted to do 12 Table Players next year. And I designed 12 Table Players. I already have them finished, already done, designed. But unfortunately, United States Playing Card Company is having a very rough time. There's all kinds of stuff going on with COVID, them not being able to man their shifts, their working shifts. And also, unfortunately, Amazon just opened up a huge distribution center in the same geographical area as the United States Playing Card Company. And Amazon, Amazon I think starts people out at $20 an hour. And it's hard for anybody to compete with a starting wage of like $20 an hour. I couldn't compete with that. I couldn't compete with that and be able to have my business open. And so Amazon has been poaching tons of people from the United States Playing Card Company, and I'm sure lots of other businesses in the area. And they're just having, it's that coupled with the COVID delays that they're just having a hard time. I mean, they're already delayed from COVID. They're just having a hard time keeping up. And in order for me to do 12 Table Players decks for next year, Control Save, I would need to have the first one by January, obviously. And I turned in all of the artwork, I think in September. And they couldn't make the deadline of January, which before COVID, it was pretty lock, stock, and barrel that I could turn in my artwork with the United States Playing Card Company in 4.5 weeks. I could have a finished deck of cards at my doorstep. But now it's like 15, 16 weeks delay. And now with the Volume 7, which is the first one, they started pushing it back. And they were like, I don't know, we're not going to make January for sure. And now it's looking like they're like, we aren't going to make February either, which is the first day that they're supposed to do. So, and I was like, man, guys, I want to use you guys and I want to print with you guys, but I also I got to run my business too. And part of my business is me, especially with the subscription, my business is, let me get this layer here. Where are you at? That's not it. Is this it? What is this? That's the one. My business is, design playing cards every month and shipping them out every month. And if I can't do that, then, I'm breaking my word to everybody that's a subscriber of what they're paying for. And I was like, guys, I'm going to have to pull all the Table Players from you guys because you can't produce them. So it's super sucks all the way around. But to answer your question, the Table Players will start in February. They will happen. Where did we go here? Let me get back to this layer. You people are distracting me. I'm just kidding. That's the layer we want. Are we still on that? Yes. Control save. Control S. Okay. All right, let me see here. Let's go back to that reference. Let me take a drink here. Okay. want to find, I really like this. What I really like about this, what I like about this design specifically, and let's take a look at it. I like that it's the negative space that's the ink. I like that a lot. So I'm just gonna file that in the back of my head. I love the new cardstock. I know it's thick, I know it's stiff, but I love it. And I know a lot of people don't like it, but I really like it. It makes my art look awesome. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go in this negative space. I'm going to go in the negative space. And what I'm thinking is have like a dark, almost like a secondary deboss that goes in even further. That's like a dark ink that creates like a floral design that's really going to make this pop. I like this. I like the way they're doing these leaves. So I'm just going to put that right there. I'm going to put that right here just for reference. I really like these kind of leaves here with this kind of flower. It's pretty good. And as you can see, if I dissect the way that they've constructed this, you can see that, you've got a spine. You have a spine for the structure like this, and then everything is filled in around that. And so that's what we're going to do. So I'm just going to paint in black right now. I'm going to get me a nice hard edge brush. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to initially draw this structure, the main spine structure, so I can know that it fits in here. Okay, let me not be amateur about it and draw a nice ellipse. Excuse me. Okay. All right. I'm just going to go in here and each one of these sections. Come over here. Each one of these sections, I'm going to draw that simple structure or the spine of the scroll work. Excuse me. And what in my head, what's going to happen is this negative space detail work will be dark, like a dark ink. When I say dark ink, I mean as if the people that made this book in the land of Oz or wherever, they printed this area with a darker colored ink. And then the gold foil accoutrements. Let's use this same design here for this other side as well. Yes, we enforce the one per person. Oops, got the wrong thing. We do enforce that. It's a one per order, but people, we can't stop people from making different email addresses and customer accounts. You know, we can't stop people from doing that. So, feeling good. Now, most of this I can just reflect over. Let me see here. I want to use this one. Just merge those. I feel like this one needs to fill. I think this needs to fill the space a little bit better. So we're going to make it a little bit bigger. Yeah, definitely not cool, but I really can't. Let's see here. There we go. Yeah, that feels better. See you, Sam. Thanks for coming. All right, so from there, let me just duplicate this because I can, and it's going to be... just to get an idea for it, what it's going to look like. Okay, so I'm going to go over here and erase this and redraw this stuff because it's obviously different. Yes, 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 yes. Transform, flip vertically. Okay. Good. Let me make sure that's all in one layer. Nope. That's the wrong layer. I want this and this. Okay, and I want it with that layer. All right, let's look at our reference here that we like so much. So you can see that it's got, I really like these open flowers and then these kind of profile flowers. Very nice. So I'm going to sketchy sketch. Let's go with these open flowers to begin with. Let's bring this reference over here so I can see it. I'm going to bring down the opacity so it's less distracting visually, because I get distracted easily. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to sketch. I'm just going to keep sketching here. Make sure that that terminates in the center. And then I'm just going to sketch what I'm thinking here. This, let's beef up the spine a little bit. So we have something to work with. It'll trail like that. Okay. So let's do the center of the flower. And let's make a little arc like this. And this is not final. This is just me sketching it. to get an idea. They do that. Okay, I see what they're doing here. So that's one of the open flowers. Let's see. Let's take Control S. Oh no. I think I've done crashed again. Let me give a little second, a second to catch up. No, I think we've crashed. We're at 3.2 gigs open. No, I'm saving. It's saving. So I didn't completely crash. Maybe it was just catching up with me. But it's not letting me zoom in or out. Well, I guess I'm going to have to do it. I've already saved before I nix it. Let me save again. It's saying saving. It's working. Am I missing something? Do I have a dialog box open that I can't see? But I can select layers. Let's just see what's going on, but I can't zoom out. Okay, fine. Gonna have to start it over. Where's our theme song? Gotta remember to save all the time. Always save all the time. If you don't save, you're gonna get screwed. Luckily, I saved pretty soon before it crashed. That's what you get for using a PC. Awesome. Let's open it back up. Okay. See? That's why we save, people. All right, so let's get back to it. I'm just going to fill this in just so I can see what it looks like. I don't have to be super tight about it because I'll go back and do the detail work. But I'm going to do this area here, and that'll probably be it for today because we're at 8 o'clock. So what we're going to do is we'll erase this part, and we'll do one of these little flowers right here, the open flower. So let's start like this. I'm going to make my own little base bud or whatever you want to call it. Make mine a little bit different than theirs. What do they have? Little circles. I like those. Little circles in here. Yeah, this is going to be awesome. Sorry. It's going to be awesome. I just know it. I kind of like that just as much. Let's put a little vein in here. And you can imagine, if I take this, you can just imagine in your mind's eye, if I take these designs and put them like in gold, you can just imagine what it's going to be when these are gold foil. Oh, they're going to be awesome. It's going to be great. It's going to be awesome. All right. So I'm going to do these little leaves. I like these little berries that they have coming off. And so I'm going to draw. Let's see here. Okay. So I'm just going to do. How do they do this? Okay, so it's like a an S shape. Noted. And I also like how they don't connect either. They're kind of floating. I like that. Let's do that. So it's kind of an S shape. Which way does S shape go? Towards the middle. Do they change directions? Yeah, they do change directions. See how they're going this way? And then when it comes back this way, they're going the other way. That's breaking some of the rules of scroll work, but you know what? I'm okay with breaking some rules. Because there's nobody telling us what we can and can't do. And you got to fight for your right to party. All right. And it looks like it's an S curve and then it splits into like a little two-piece thing. So Control S. And so we'll split it off like this, split it off like this. What's up, Cedric? Welcome. Good morning. Good morning. I'm not quite feeling that, actually. I'm going to go back and erase all this. I don't like it. I'm going to try something different. I'm going to try my own thing here. I have my own ideas. What I'm going to do first, I do like the berries. I like these little berry things that they have. I think those are interesting. But I like the flowers. I really like, I honestly like this other flower we did so much that I want to duplicate it. I like the visual of that flower. Let's flip it horizontally. And a lot of this is just me doing one of these sections to just get a feel for what I'm going to do and to build the process of how I'm going to do it. All right, so let me look at this. I mean, it's just a little stick with a berry. What I like is this one right here, where it's like a leaf and a berry, or whatever you want to call that. I like that. So what I'm going to do is, let's see. Save. Control save. Let's just make a new layer. Let me just kind of get an idea. Got the berry on top. Maybe have like 2 axes. There's the stem. Like that. Yes. I prefer that myself. And then we'll give it a single vein in the negative space that matches that berry. Let me try something different with this leaf here. Something a little bit more traditional. Yeah. Shape it up a little bit here. Okay, I like that. So let's go in here. Got our process. Let's repeat our process. Always do things in batches when you can, because you get a lot more done. So I'm going to go in and draw the berries. the pistols. We'll have a small bud here, a small flowering bud here, like the big one. Control S. Have our little detail things there. Okay, looking good. Let's continue our process. Berry. Let's look at it. Okay, let's get one here. Have another flowering bud. There. Berry. Berry. And berry. Then maybe we have a berry there that fills that space. All right. Control S. Let me get this right side up. Now what I'm going to do is, as you can see, I have 3 leaves. So part of my process now is I'm going to start the base and draw the spine of each of the leaves in my leaf systems. Sebastian asked 3 or 4 months to make it 1 deck of cards. Is it a long time or not? It really all depends. It kind of depends on who you are, your level of experience, how proficient you are at what you do. 3 or 4 months is not a long time if the last deck that you made took you 6 months. And another thing is, like, the time it takes you is relative to what your goal is and why you're doing it. For me, designing playing cards is my living, and so I need to be very proficient at it. And part of that proficiency is, and at the same time, me having to design a deck of cards every month just, makes it to where I have to be proficient. And so my end goal is the fact that I need to have a deck of cards designed every month. And so I have to be fast. So for me, with my end goals, 3 to 4 months would be a long time. But at the same time, you have to also realize that I've been doing nothing but drawing playing cards for the past, 7, 8 years. So my proficiency and experience level might be higher than yours. So it's kind of a relative question. If you have a deadline, then if you have a deadline that's 2 months and it takes you 4 months, yes, that would obviously be too long. So it's all relative. Robert Wright, what is up, my broheem? It's good to see you here. Robert, this is going to be, I am just sketching this design. Just getting it blocked in. I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do for this background area. And at the moment, I'm just really roughing it in. What's probably going to end up happening the whole thing is going to be a matte, uncoated paper for sure. Like Robin Hood was, like Beowulf. The black areas that you see here will just end up being what's the word? A darker shade of the green. And then for the gilded edition, the limited edition, we'll have these types of designs in gold foil, but if I zoom out after I save, if I zoom out, it'll have these kind of designs in gold foil on where it says Oz on the outside. So you have the darker ink on the inner parts and then the gold on the inner parts. All right, I'm just kind of getting everything, adding all the detail that I want. Yeah, I could make these I could make these poppies, or I could say they're poppies. I could make these little red berries, little poppy flowers that would go with the Wizard of Oz. Got to be careful on adding red, because that will definitely change the dynamics of this tuck case dramatically, because red is the complementary color of green. And it would definitely change things. But it's not a bad thing. So the way this is going to work is feel pretty solid about this process of making these leaves for this negative space, and also for the subsequent gilded areas. The foiled areas. I'll rough this one in and what I'm doing right now is more figuring out the process, and I can show you what it's going to look like if I do this. Excuse me. Let me find this part here. So if I take this, just to give you an idea of what it might look like. So we'll take that kind of same process, and then it'll be debossed, and then I'll create a new layer on top. But I've just created about 6 hours of work for myself, which is okay. It'll probably end up I'll just do a little section to give you an idea. Very quick section. Doing that same process where I create the debossing layer and then I paint this kind of worn edge over the top of it just to bring it out. I'm just really roughing it in because I want you people to see what's in my brain right now. Bring that opacity down a little bit. So you can kind of get an idea. I'll probably make it more, come over here. Probably make it more subtle than that. Let's bring it down a little bit. Kind of like that. So if you look at this area that I've painted here, that's kind of what, oh my goodness, there we go. This area here is kind of show you what that whole background will be. And then for the standard edition, so the standard edition, I'll have all this background. So tomorrow, you can be sure that all we will be doing tomorrow is drawing all of these areas with all this detailed scroll work tomorrow. So you can be ready for that. And then the Oz area will remain for the standard edition. It'll just have the background detail work. Let me Control S. It'll have the background detail work. And then the Oz will stay blank on the standard edition. And then the limited edition will have gold foil, the same kind of design work, gold foil on the Oz area, and have the same kind of floral work on the bottom. Really like this. Really like this a lot. All right, let me do this. Come back to my my crew is all waking up, and they're asking me questions, but it's okay. Let me turn my light on. The last thing I want to do is show you guys some goodies. Take a little drink of my cold coffee. C-Dub asks, is there's new golden tickets in table players or for 2021, and does 2020 golden expire? Yes, the golden tickets for this year do expire. But it basically but like 3 golden ticket decks have been claimed. So, and we will have new golden tickets for next year. And we're going to be doing a little bit something different with the golden tickets. We're going to be putting like a date, the month and the date on the back of them, because we've had some punks that have been trying to game the system and double up. Like they'll show a gold, because we were nice enough not to make people mail them in like we were originally going to do. And we let them keep them, and then because of that, they've been trying to game the system. And hey, I got a golden ticket when I really didn't get a golden ticket. So we're going to be putting the date on them. Adam, do not ask me about the meat deck. I will not answer you about the meat deck. Okay, so are you ready for some goodies? I told you that the February deck is Federal 52, the foiled Federal 52. I told you that we were releasing a foiled gold certificate and also a foiled silver certificate. I want to show you the Fed decks as they've been foiled. Now, granted, I'm showing on a camera, on a webcast, and these are like foiled. So it's going to be really hard to see all the detail, that kind of stuff. So bear with me. So here is the Federal 52. And I'll see if I can get the light to hit it correctly, but you can see that it has gold and green foil all throughout the back design. Try to do it again. This is very hard to do. There we go. You can see the gold foil. And as well on the faces. See the heart with the gold foil. And then there's gold foil on the treasury seals, green foil. And then you can see the gold foil. This is horrible. It doesn't look very good on this camera. And it's hard to focus, but I'm going to show you anyways. You can see the gold foil in the border. Let me show you another card. Here's the Joker. Oh, look at this. Focus. It's got that foiled radial pattern behind the Joker. And it's got the silver. If you can see it, if I can hold my camera still. See the silver foil and gold foil? Two foils. Look at that. Gold and silver. There's silver and gold. Silver and gold. And then also, if you look at that treasury seal, it's green foil. The green foil doesn't show up as well on the camera. Let me show you a court card. Well, let me show you an index card to show you how I did the foiling on the index cards. Same artwork as the original Feds, but watch the borders of the pips. They all have gold foil surrounding all the pips. There we go. Then here is the King of Spades with gold and green foil. Let me get it to focus. Watch carefully. There you can see the gold foil all throughout the design. It's tasty. I'm trying to do my best to show you on this on my live stream here. I'll show you one more card. Here is the King of Clubs, Old Washington. And then at the same time, you can see the gold foil. Okay, there's goodies number 1. Are you ready for goodies number 2? Let's do goodies number 2. I would say that it's subtle in appearance at first, but once it pops, and then you can really see it. So, well, I don't want to show you this one yet. So, February is Federal 52, and then hopefully April, because I released Federal 52 first, then I released Gold Certificate, and then hopefully in April, you will see this. The orange foiled gold certificate, because the original gold certificate was orange, and so we did a orange foil. If I can get it, there we go. There we go. And then with the gold certificate, everything, because all the Feds, Fed 51, Fed 52, gold certificate, silver certificate, they all have the same artwork, but they have different like color schemes and feels. Like the Feds are like money green, gold certificates are all gold, orange colored, and then the silver tickets are all blue. So everything that's foiled, there's only one color foil on the court cards as opposed to, gold and silver and green foil that was on the Feds. On the gold certificate, you just have gold foil, and you can see that the treasury seals are also all gold foil as well. Let me show you. Here's the Ace of Spades. Gold treasury seals. Yeah. And then here's the other Eagle Joker with the starburst bloom in foil. You can kind of barely see the starburst. You can see it there, but then it starbursts. And then notice it's all gold foil instead of gold and silver like on the Feds. And then finally, the gold certificate will be April's deck, hopefully, if we can get Wizard of Oz finished and produced. And then April, May, June, January, February, then 2 months from that will be the silver certificate, because that's what I released next. And here is the silver certificate. You got the original silver certificate artwork, but this time it's in blue, this deep blue foil, which looks cobalt delicious. I know it's hard to show it on this camera. Come on, focus. There we go. But blue foil. And then everything that was gold, because like I said, the artwork is the same. Everything that was gold foil is now silver. Silver foil. So I get to focus. There we go. You can see all the silver foil in there. It's way better than Metalux. Here's the King of Hearts, old Abe Lincoln. But the good thing is when it's not specular, when the foil is not specular, it's nice and subtle and you can't really tell. But then when you hit it, boom. Tucks are not the same. I'm not going to tell you what I'm doing with the tucks. The tuck cases are very, very different than the original Fed tucks. They are being printed by Clove Street Press, so that's different. They're going to be awesome. Here's one of the index cards. Let me find you a good index card. There's the hearts, and you can see the silver foil around the indexes. They're really good. Fan really nice, handle really well. Some of our original foil decks, they didn't handle as good, but we are definitely, we've been working very hard on getting the handling for the foil decks better and better with each time. So we're really excited about that. Let me see it. I can do this on camera. I'm not very good at this. Yeah, there we go. Nice Pharaoh. But I'm not a card handler, so I really don't know. But the tuck cases are going to be sweet. It's going to be very, very different. Very, very fresh, very different. But it's going to go really well with these new Fed decks that we're releasing for the subscription. The gilded versions will all be in book boxes as well. All of the decks next year, all 12 decks, both the Fed decks and the story decks, will be in the book boxes as well. So, what time is it? 8:30, 8:40? That's it for me. So, tomorrow, first of all, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for coming, as always. Tomorrow, I will be continuing all the detail work on the Wizard of Oz tuck case that we started. I've got the process down of how I'm going to build that stuff and construct it. So what we'll do tomorrow is do all the scroll work on the negative spaces, and then we'll go back and do all the scroll work. I'll probably do it all at the same time because it's the same kind of construction process. So I'll do all the scroll work in the negative space, and then I'll do all the scroll work in the gold foil space for the LTD and gilded tuck cases. So anyways, what a great day, people. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. I'm going to go eat some breakfast because I'm hungry. I will see you guys tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. for Dawn's Early Light number 4. Wow, getting it going. So you guys have a wonderful day. I will talk to you guys tomorrow, and thanks for hanging out. See you.